During the dark, cold months of the year, I never quite fully feel like myself. My creativity levels are kind of at an all-time low. This past winter, I spent a few evenings down in my studio at my sketchbook trying to be creative, but most of the time, all I ever really wanted to do was curl up and get cozy and read a good book. I spent hours sitting on my chair in my living room reading and spending entire days listening to audiobooks while I did chores around the house. The monotone colors of the outside world were just so dull in comparison to the worlds that I could find tucked in between the pages of a book. And after you've been reading for a while, you can almost start to imagine that you're somewhere else and you're sitting under the warm sun with a good book and a fresh drink. And that was exactly where my mind wanted to be. But lately, the world has been waking up and the days are getting longer and the birds are starting to chirp outside, and I find myself ready to find myself again.
It is the first official calendar day of the year of spring. And I can't even really describe how happy I am to say that out loud, because this winter I just feel like I have just been counting down the days. I have not done a whole lot of things over the course of the winter months this year. I am ready for the sun and the blue sky. This morning I got up and the sky was completely blue and there was like robins all over the yard and I could hear the birds chirping, and I was like, today is gonna be a good day. So today, since it is the first day of spring, I kind of wanted to get back into the swing of things. I know it's been a while since I posted a video here. I'm just not at my peak performance for creativity in the winter. I'm really not. But like literally, I'm so inspired today because it's like spring now. Even though like the weather is not quite, you know, the weather's not quite there yet. The promise of like better days and warmer days to come is just fueling my soul right now. The fact that the sun is coming, the warm days are coming, the days are longer, the sun stays out longer, like everything is just, it's really sounding pretty good right about now. So today, since it is the first day of spring, there's a couple things that I want to do to kind of like get into the spring spirit, if you will, and some little projects I want to do. So firstly, I have a couple of pieces of decor that I want to put out. It's really not much. I don't really have much in the realm of spring and Easter decor, but I do have a couple things, so we're gonna put that out and just kind of spruce up the space a little bit. Things are a little wild around here because I am working on renovating the kitchen. You know, we can still sprinkle in some things here and there. I also have a sewing project I want to do. I don't know if I will have time to get it done today or not, but we will be getting that done. And yeah, there's just some other little fun projects and little things that I just want to do because it is spring now. So I don't chat your ear off. Let's get started.
I got these two rabbit cutouts from my nan's house when she passed away and we cleaned out all of her things. This type of decor always reminds me of when I was a kid because we had these like Halloween cardboard cutouts that we used to bring out every year. And although this type of decor is probably not something that I would purchase now, and maybe it looks a little bit cheesy, it's definitely something that has a very deep place in my heart just because it is so nostalgic to me and reminds me of when I was a kid, and it also reminds me of my nan, so I had to put them out this year. This table in the corner of my living room was in desperate need of some color. Everything over here was gray and white, which didn't really say spring to me, so I gave it a good clean and started to add a couple pops of color. Nothing too major, But I have this glass dish that also came from my nan's place. I have a lot of things from her house because I like having them here. It reminds me of her. Around Easter, she always used to keep these dishes completely stocked with Cadbury mini eggs. And while I didn't have any of those on hand, I did have some M&Ms, so they were kind of like the next best thing, and they were also colorful. So I poured those in there. I added a couple of colorful Colleen Hoover books and called it a day. But putting these M&Ms here was kind of a mistake because they were gone before the day was over. The rest of my spring decor was kept very simple just by putting away the winter mugs and bringing out some colored ones, as well as changing up my tablecloth. This took me 2 tries because I thought maybe an orange one would look really pretty because it's colorful and bright, and my kitchen is slowly turning into a white kitchen, but I just really wasn't happy with it. It wasn't really vibing with me, so I did end up switching it for white, which I was a lot happier with. Weeks ago, I thrifted this huge piece of fabric with this really beautiful pattern on it, and it really stood out to me because of the colors and how the colors are kind of like 70s colors, and I knew that I had to buy it. And as soon as I saw it, all I could see in my head was making a dress with it. It took me a while to kind of figure out what kind of dress I wanted to make with it, but I did a little perusing on the Rosary Apparel YouTube channel, and she has so many different dress designs that I knew I was kind of not really going to follow one specifically, but kind of take pieces of different dresses that she has made and make it into one of my own. So if you're looking into making a dress, I highly recommend checking out her YouTube channel. So last spring, I started making this little journal scrapbook, and I really enjoyed doing it for the couple of months that I did. But unfortunately, after like 2, maybe 3 months, I fell way behind on doing it, and then just overall forgot about it, and I didn't add to it anymore. But I really loved making it, and I loved looking back at the pages that I've made. But the thing is, I was printing pictures out from a computer printer, and then I would have to cut them out, and I had to resize them down to a smaller size, and the process was just really time consuming and not that enjoyable. So I really think that is why I stopped doing it. Which brings me to today's collaboration with Kodak. They recently gifted me their Kodak Mini Shot 3 Era, and it is a 2-in-1 camera printer. It is honestly the cutest thing ever, and they have a few different sizes of these cameras. I chose the 3, and the photos it prints out are 3 by 3 inches. And you can get this in black or yellow, but I had to go with the classic yellow because I love that color. You can also get the accessory bundle, which comes with this really awesome case. You can still use all the features like the buttons, the screen. You can access the borders, the filters, and all of the functions that this camera has while it is still in the case, while also protecting it. To print your pictures, the camera connects to the Kodak app through Bluetooth, and it is extremely easy to use. You just select what photo you want to print, and you can add filters or borders or even little stickers or any fancy little things that you want to add, and then you can just hit the print button and the picture starts to print. This camera uses a 4-pass system for printing, where it prints the yellow first, then the magenta, and then the cyan last, and then it goes back in one more time to laminate it. Since this is a 2-in-1 camera printer, you also have the option of using it just as an instant camera. So you can shoot pictures directly with the camera, and then once you've taken the picture, you can see it on the little screen, and you can decide if you want to print multiple copies of it or if you want to delete it and start fresh with a new picture. Once you're happy with your picture, you can hit the print button and instantly have your photo in your hands. I've honestly been having so much fun printing out so many pictures, and I don't even really have to feel guilty about using up all of the photo paper because each box comes with 30 sheets and it's actually really affordable to buy. The accessory bundle that I mentioned before also comes with a lot of really fun ways to display your Kodak photo prints. One of my favorite ones is the Kodak photo album. I put a few pictures in here from my sister's birthday, and I can't wait to fill this album up and put it on my shelf, and I can go back and look at it anytime that I want to. It also comes with a couple of other ways to display your photos, like magnets, this little frame, some clothespins with string, as well as a keychain, and even some sticky magnets so you can make some photo magnets. This is honestly a Kodak lover's dream. I've been collecting vintage Kodak paraphernalia for a long time, so it's really cool to have some new stuff to add to my collection. Having this made working on my scrapbook so much more enjoyable because you're able to do everything right there on the spot and get to decorating the pages a little bit faster. And there's also something that I just really like about watching the pictures print out. And what's really cool is that I'm going to be able to bring this pretty much anywhere I go this summer, and I can work on this book on all of my summer trips. I can also see this coming in handy for so many other DIY and photo purposes.
I've quite literally been having so much fun just like being able to work on my little scrapbook and play around with this little camera printer. I just want to sit here and print like every photo on my phone right now. It is so much fun to use. The only thing I can recommend is to have a USB-C cable on hand to charge it up, so make sure it is ready to go. But other than that, it is super easy to use. The app is really easy to use. It's super fun, it's creative, and it's such a fun way to like print your little photos. I love the frames. The frames are probably one of my favorite part that you can play around with, and like the accessories and everything are so much fun. I absolutely recommend. It is so much fun. I've never had a camera printer before. Honestly, kind of life-changing. It's so much fun to use. And the fact that you can print from anywhere, like you don't have to hook it up to anything. It's run by Bluetooth. It's just, I'm just having a time over here playing in my little scrapbook. This is gonna be like the camera of the summer for me. I'm gonna be taking it on all my summer adventures, and even when I can't bring it with me, I will be able to print my pictures when I come back. So I'm so excited to continue using this over the spring and summer and further and beyond. And hopefully by the summer, my book is so fat that it won't even close.
It took me a few different days of sewing before I completed my dress. I decided I was going to try a new technique with elastics for a shirred gathered dress effect, and I honestly am very pleased with it. However, if I was going to do this again, I think I would do it with more material. The sleeves on this also gave me a bit of a hard time. My brain just couldn't really figure out how I was going to attach them, but eventually I got them on and the dress turned out like this, and I'm honestly really happy with it. This is probably one of my favorite things that I've made for myself in quite a while, and I think I even impressed myself a little bit with how it turned out, and now it's really ignited a spark in me that I want to keep sewing even more things for this spring. I think being able to sew your own clothes is honestly a really cool skill to have, so if you've ever thought about giving it a try, I highly recommend it. And I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with a new video.